I am commanded by the Queen to send you herewith your badge as an officer of the Civil Division of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, together with a letter from Her Majesty expressing her regret at being unable to present you personally the OBE. Hello, welcome to MHA Digital Communities. My name is Ruth. I work at Macclesfield Museum, and I'd like to show you some of the artefacts that we have relating to Charles Tunnicliffe, the artist. We're very lucky to have one or two of his sketchbooks, which he found invaluable when he was using them for his composition work. He said he liked to take a little sketchbook with him on his walks and put them in his pocket. And he would have a number of coloured pencils just to record the colour so that he could then go back to his studio and do it with paint or whatever medium he was going to use. And he would also carry an ink pen and a pencil, and that was it, because if he'd taken watercolour paints with him and it had rained, then I think we can guess what might have happened there. So yeah, that was definitely something that he would use on a daily basis, taking it. And I would like to show you one or two of the examples that we have. We've got this beautiful, tiny little otter here, which is drawn with a pen and ink. And he's probably used a little tiny bit of water when he's got home, just to give it a little bit of tonal quality, but I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I'm not sure if we've mentioned, but one of the books perhaps some of you have read is Tarka the Otter, for which he did the engravings with wood blocks. And I would imagine that this little sketch has something to do with that. So that was the beginning of Charles Tunnicliffe's career, really. He definitely got so many more compositions once he'd done that book. He actually illustrated over 80 books and produced 6 books of his own as well. So that's something to be very proud of. We've also got another sketchbook here with the deer in different positions. Again, he would be watching the animal as it's moving around and sketching it and capturing the movement. Something very difficult to do and something that we now find a lot easier in the more digital age, because we can use cameras and phones and things like that. But this is all done by hand. With a pencil, and really what his motto was watch, watch, watch. And that's really what he would do. Most days he would be out walking with his binoculars, his sketch pad. So that's how he did it. It was hard work, but obviously a passion, and it's something that I as an artist can understand and share. But you see all the groundwork that goes towards these finished paintings. I think it's just phenomenal that he produced as much as he did. So we only got a small selection here, but if I could just show you one or two of them. So I might just turn the page here, if that's all right, here, just to show you. We've got a building here that is drawn. I don't actually know where that is, but we've also got some little horses in different positions here. Another seascape, which would probably be in Anglesey, where he actually ended up moving to in the latter part of his life. He lived with his wife Winifred from, I would say, 1947 in a house called Shawlands in Macclesfield on Anglesey, which is full of seabirds and wonderful life. So it's absolutely perfect for a bird artist like himself, which he really became more famous for than anything else, was the birds. With that in mind, I'd like to show you this small bird book here, which is full of tiny little tea cards, which some of you may have collected when you were younger. I know my husband did. And they're just beautiful little works of art in themselves. And you can see all the tiny detail, the foreground, the background. Each one is like an individual painting. I wonder where all these originals are. I don't know. He's so prolific, but there's absolutely hundreds of them. And this one is nicely full, so they must have drunk a lot of tea. I think, but that's a beautiful little thing. And even in between, he's done beautiful little black and white pictures as well. So that's that little tea card. He was very well known in the bird world. The RSPB awarded him the gold medal for all his services. They had a regular monthly magazine, the Bird Notes, that you can see here, this beautiful little magazine. Very sadly, the medal was stolen from our museum, and also he was awarded an OBE from the Queen for his services to the art world, but unfortunately that was stolen at the same time. We are told by the RSPB that they will make us a new one, which is lovely. So there is a happy ending. All we need now is to talk to the Queen, and maybe she might give him another OBE. That would be nice. So we actually have the letter here from the Queen. I can't read it to you because I haven't got, oh I can, I've got my glasses. It's all right, yes I can. I'll read it to you. Dear Mr. Tunnicliffe, I'm very sorry to learn that you're ill health and you are unable to attend the investiture at Buckingham Palace. I am commanded by the Queen to send you herewith your badge as an officer of the Civil Division of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, together with a letter from Her Majesty expressing her regret at being unable to present to you personally the OBE. So that's quite something, but it was a bit sad that he didn't feel well enough to go. But in all honesty, I don't think it was actually Charles's cup of tea. He was a very quiet man, he didn't like a lot of fuss. He just wanted to get on with his work. And boy, did he do that. We've got such a beautiful collection here of note cards that he's done, all so beautifully composed with a little bit of foreground, a little bit of foliage. You know, all the detail is there. I think any ornithologist or botanist would be impressed and easily identifiable. There's one more thing I'd like to share with you before I finish, and that is a book that shows Charles Tunnicliffe creating his bird maps, which is something quite unique to him as an artist. I'm not saying no other artist has created such things, but he had such a huge amount of bird maps that he drew in great detail by pinning the feathers against a board and actually measuring them with a ruler with such accuracy. And I think that's how he's become so very accurate and detailed. His attention to detail was second to none. And I'd just like to show you another example of that. Here, he's got a jay bird, and it's looking down onto the top of the bird, so you can see all the colourings and the markings of the feathers, and all the detail at the side and underneath the wing, so that whenever he was to be doing his composition, he would have all this as a reference. And this was something he never thought would be on show. It was just for him, very personal, something for him to use. But in fact, later on, these were admired, and he was encouraged to show these bird maps. And they are available to go and have a look at now if you wanted to see them. They're still at the Oriel in Ismon on Anglesey, which is a very nice museum and gallery. So these are treasured to me. I really think they're beautiful. And I'd just like to read you a small quote that Charles Tunnicliffe wrote about these bird maps. For some years, I have been in the habit of making careful measured drawings in colour of any dead bird which has come into my hands, providing it has been in fresh condition. Wherever possible, I've drawn the birds exactly to life size. I try to arrange them so that the upper surfaces, including that of the fully opened wing, are shown, the under surfaces with the wings in the same position, a side view with the wings closed, and any other details such as a front view of the head, with accurate studies of legs and feet, and the drawings of single feathers, in fact anything that I see that may be of use. So there you have it, from the artist himself. Just have one more little look at that beautiful black, blue and white jay feather, which is so beautifully done. Thank you.